Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly update for October 2nd, 2022. So, this last week was really boring, and I did a lot of reading overall. Not as much as I could have maybe, but I think I finished quite a few things. Again, it was the end of series September, and now we're in Booktober, so my priorities have kind of changed, but we will see how that goes. My mom was here for this weekend, so she came on Friday afternoon. So she was here when I got home from work. So I had to clean my house last weekend and through the week to get ready for her being here. We had a great time. She made me go and take all my books that I've been setting aside pretty much since the beginning of COVID for credit, either at Powell's or to another used bookstore, Jan's, that I go to. And so yesterday I spent like 2 hours at Powell's waiting in line, an hour, like 45 minutes waiting in line, and that took them an hour to go through the 7 sacks of books that I took in. So it was quite a bit. Anyway, so I got quite a bit of credit. Nothing but I paid for all those books because a lot of them were in really good condition. But, I need to get them out of my house. So then I took the last 3 bags to my other local used bookstore, Jan's, and I only could take in 2 because they'd had a really busy day. So I just took 2 of them in, and she didn't tell me how much credit I was going to get for that one. But I'll go back again this week. I'll take the 3rd bag in and have them go through that one, and then I'll find that one out. I'm not worried about that at all. Anyway, and then whatever's left over goes with the 2 boxes I have already to go to donate to the library that I've already been through all this process over the last couple of years that I haven't taken in yet. So anyway, it's a relief to get that out of the spare bedroom, the guest bedroom. I had them stacked up against the wall. And again, anytime my mom stayed, she could see all the books there, but they were all going out of the house now, so they're gone. So I still have stacks and stacks of books here in the room. My goal in the next few weeks is again to reorganize the guest room, the bookshelf there, because I want to see if I can get the top shelf on. I haven't done that yet, so I will hopefully next weekend. And then I want to go through that closet and try to empty out as much and see if there's a way for me to put in a bookcase in there. We'll see. If not, I have another plan. But anyway, the point is, and then as I said, the next couple weeks I want to rearrange all the books in here and I might have to start double stacking stuff, which I did not want to do, but I have too many books. Anyway, so I'm working on all that. So that's kind of that's it. So maybe if I get to a point where I'm actually doing something that's kind of fun with books, I might video that, but right now nothing's happening. So anyway, so it was a busy weekend. My mom just left. My brother and I, my mom left a little bit ago, but my brother and I just went outside and raked the leaves because of course they just dropped in the middle of the week when we had that lovely rain out of the blue that I didn't know was coming in the middle of the week, which was great. And now we're back up into the 80s. So whatever, anyway, because it did drop the temperature. It was really nice, but it dropped all our most of our leaves, so we did a lot of raking this morning. So I'm sore. I'm gonna be sore more later. Anyway, but we did what we had to get done. Anyway, so I think that's it. I think I've rambled. Oh my gosh, I've rambled quite a bit. So anyway, let's talk about the books that I read, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm gonna read in the next week. So, again, we were in the end of September, so it was the end of series September, which is put on by Sarah's Nightstand, and her name just went right out of my head. Books and Jams. I don't know what. Krista. Sorry, it just went out. So I didn't really follow prompts. I was just trying to finish series, and I did really well this year of finishing off a lot of series that I had like 1 or 2 books left. There's a lot of series that I've read, like the first book, and I need to continue and finish series, but there was a few that were like the end of series that I just hadn't gotten to. So the next 2 that I have are the last books in series. So I technically finished, I think I said I finished 7 series total, and then I'm caught up. Oh no, 8. I must be 8. I'll have to figure out. I'll let you know later. I think I finished 8 series, and 2 I was caught up on. Anyway, or close. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. Anyway, point is one of them was For the Throne by Hannah Witten. This was the second book in the duology of the Wilder Wood. So I read For the Wolf last year when it came out and really loved that one. For the Throne follows that. So they mostly is talking about two sisters who are born into royalty. The first one is For the Throne. The second is For the Wolf. And the first book follows Rhaedaris, who is the second daughter. And so she is to be sacrificed to the Wilder Wood and to the wolf that lives there, and in order to try to bring back their lost gods. And it just, as I said, it goes completely different. So we have Red, who is, she wants to go because something had happened to her 4 years before, and so she wants to make the sacrifice because she feels she's a danger to her sister and to others. And then her sister is just for Navarra, I think is how her name, I don't know, Nev, I think is how the nickname is said. She wants to save her sister, and so she does a lot of things trying to do that as well. So the first book is starting that, and then the second book is the consequences of what happened in the first book. And I thought this went in directions I did not expect, and I really enjoyed that, and I really got to know Nev much better, and I liked her much better in this book, because the first book for me was hard to go to her POVs because I wanted to be with Red so much in her stuff in the first book. But I really love this. I think if you like the first book, you're gonna like the second book. Again, I think this one's darker than the first book in a lot of ways. And the choices made and things that went, it was the characters, I mean, it wasn't characters were making wrong choices. I just meant they were horrible choices, some of them. And I think it worked out in a way I did not expect it to, or how the whole story went. And I liked the way it went. So overall, I thought this was a great duology. I would recommend it, the Wilderwood duology, if you just want fun fantasy. No, it's not fun. I mean, it's fun, it's fantasy, but it kind of has it has the kind of fairy tale aspects because of the prophecies and things that that make the second daughter have to be sacrificed to the woods, and what happens in the woods, and then what happens later in this book, which is a whole nother section, which was really interesting, or another place that that people go to. It was just, I thought this was really good. Overall, I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad I finished that one. And I definitely like that one. Sorry. And then my hold came in for the last half of the case book of Sherlock Holmes. So I have completed the Sherlock Holmes series completely. So it was really weird because I listened to the first 8 books, or the collections and novels from Stephen Fry's audiobook that I got on Audible at some point. And I listened to that whole thing, and I get to the end and the case book of Sherlock Holmes isn't there. So I don't know why they would have done all the other collections and stuff. So I had this bind up this is the second part of the bind up that has all the short stories and short stories and novels. And so I have, so this had everything. So when I looked at this, I go, wait, I have more short stories to read. So my library had the audiobook. It was kind of an older one, but it had it split into 2. So I listened at the beginning of the month, I listened to the first half of that, and they were out of order. So it was kind of weird. So I didn't follow this so well, but I mean, it had the same stories, but still. But the second half, then I got on the 29th, and I was so excited because I was like, I'm not going to get the second half in time. I thought that I was on the list early enough that I'm like, oh, I thought I was going to get this like mid-month, and it took, I said I got the 29th. So that day I focused on this and listened to that. And actually it's really weird because whoever the narrator was, he had his own story that was by him, that was Sherlock Holmes, like, that he made one up. I don't know, that was kind of weird. Anyway, but other than that, I finished all the Sherlock Holmes now. I have finished this. There were definitely ones I liked better than others. There are a few short stories in the case book of Sherlock Holmes that I liked. There are a couple of them that are very, well, to me, there's slightly racist in certain things that he says and does in them. So that wasn't great. But I did overall enjoy, again, being with Sherlock Holmes for the last time, him and Watson, and I did enjoy that. So again, my journey with Sherlock Holmes is done for now. I have read everything. Another series completed. So then I picked up The Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Roberts. So this one was, I was looking around trying to figure out, oh, do I want to finish one of the books I started? One of the epic fantasy books that I started, or the sci-fi that I started, and I just didn't feel like it. And I go, what do I feel like? Well, I feel like a romp. So I picked up this highly sexy, erotic vampire novels. This is 3 short novels. So they're bound up into this collection. She released them on ebook before, and whoa, cat! Oh man, that's his new thing. Anyway, but this bind up just came out in early September, so I bought it. They're also on Kindle Unlimited. The series is the Bloodline Vampire series. So if you want to read them on Kindle Unlimited instead of this, I just wanted, again, a physical book because Katie Roberts is becoming one of my favorite authors. I really enjoy her stuff. So this follows Mina, who is she is half human, half vampire, and it's like our world, but there's like that subculture where the vampires exist and other creatures that aren't known by the other people. So but she is pretty much sacrificed, or the first book is called Sacrifice, and she is sent to this vampire who is one of the older bloodlines. So there's only a few that have powers that are bloodline, and then there's others who are turned, but they're not the same as the bloodline ones. So her father is of one bloodline, and he has trapped another one, and she is sent as a sacrifice to let him have her blood or do whatever, because she's only half vampire and she has no powers. And so it's their give and take of what this situation where he's a starved vampire who's been trapped here, who needs her blood and other things. And it just, as I said, it gets very sexy because the vampire bite is very highly arousing. And so I mean, again, this is very much just a fun of stuff with the sexy times with vampires, which I enjoyed. So again, and 2 of his friends show up in the first book to help him in his situation. Anyway, so she's just kind of trapped there with them. It's just the things that go. I really enjoyed this. I loved the first book. The first book, Sacrifice, was really, really good. The second book, Air, was okay. I really liked parts of it, except for, there was like one kind of storyline I wasn't really enjoying on it, but I liked the way the progression of the story and the relationships with her and the 3 guys. And then the third book was probably my least, only because she had to do that. It's the end of the 3 books. It's the climax. Things are happening, and they're things have been going wrong and wrong and wrong, and now they have to fight back in the end. And it makes sense what happens. It's just there was one point where I was like, oh, come on. And actually that one, it turns out that kind of relates to another series that I'm reading of hers. So I thought that was then it made sense to me, and it made me feel better about that. At least I think it's the same series. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I really enjoyed this overall. It was just a fun read. And again, I read this in it was in 3 days. I read, it was a 450 page. I think it was 450, right? 490. Sorry. Well, no, 470. Sorry. So, I mean, I read that in 3 days, and for me, that's pretty good. And again, I listened to the Sherlock Holmes in the middle of that because I was like, I gotta get that. I want to get that done for the end of the month so I can finish another series. But I finished this one. So this one, I actually started and finished this series. So that was pretty good. And I finished that on Friday. So I finished it at the last day of series September. So as I said, I did really good finishing. I mean, I'm pretty sure I finished. Oh, I guess I finished. So I did actually finish 8 series in this month, and this is the only one that I start to finish one. So this is like my, I think there was a prompt for threes. I don't know, threes something, threes a crowd, threes something. Anyway, it had to do with trilogy. I don't know, 3 books in a series. Well, I got it all in that one. So anyway, so that was my series September, and now that's all done. So the stuff I'm in the middle of, so I haven't, because again, I didn't read much this weekend. I did start on Friday The Lighthouse Witches by C.J. Cook. So this is following a woman who is an artist, and she is asked to paint a mural in kind of a faux lighthouse kind of situation called The Longing, and by a very rich man. And she and her 3 children are up in on an island in Scotland. And things start to kind of go wrong. And then there's a second timeline of one of the girls, one of the middle child, and she is now, you know, in her, it's 20 some years later, because the first takes place in, is it 99 or 98? I can't remember. I think it's 98. So then there's the middle child of the 3 that was, now it's 2021, and she gets a call that her sister, one of them that had gone missing, is found. But when she goes to see her, she looks exactly as she did when she went missing in 1998. So she's still 7. Anyway, and that's as far as I've gotten so far. That's as far as I know about this story so far. It's kind of a slow build. I'm not super enjoying this yet. I don't know if it's because of the so many daughters that are some of the stuff in between them and the mother. I'm not sure. Because the one girl, the oldest girl, is a teenager, so there's a lot of teenage snappiness, I guess, and things that happen. So I'm not sure about this one yet. So I got 80 pages, and then I haven't picked it up since Friday. So I'm hoping to get back to this, but I don't know. I've been really hoping to love this book, and right now I'm like, I don't know about that. So we're working on that one. I did start yesterday for Victober, which is the month-long read-along put on by Katie at Books and Things, Kate Howe, Petra U, Melissa at Blatantly Bookish, and Roz from Scalladangling about the books. So this year, I have like 5 or 6 books that I would really like to get to. The primary one is The Professor. The Professor is the last Bronte novel, complete novel, that I have not read yet. So I wanted to read this and get it done so I could start reading nonfiction on them. So The Professor is, I believe, was Charlotte's first novel, but she didn't get it published. It was rejected, and so she went on to write Jane Eyre, which is great. Anyway, so and again, that was never published in her lifetime. It was published after her death. But at one point after Shirley's success, she was getting it ready for publication. So I think that's where we get this edition. They decided not to release it. She used a lot of themes from this into Valette, and I can already tell that. I am 83 pages in, and this is about 308 pages, sorry. So I have, I still have 125 pages left of this, and I already don't want to read the rest of this. So again, it's not that is bad. It's just, okay. So we're following William, who is definitely down on his luck. I mean, just things that happened in his life, and he was educated by his uncles who didn't want to take responsibility for him after his parents had passed away. He has an older brother who is quite a bit older, like about 10 years. And so they don't know each other very well. So when William finishes school, he's trying to go out to the world, and he decides he doesn't want to go for the church because that's what his uncles wanted him to do. And he didn't want anything to do with that. So he decides to go to his brother, who is in trade, and that kind of goes disastrous as well for different reasons. And then, so he somehow gets talked into going to the continent and moving to Brussels, and he finds work as a teacher. So we're following him on that journey right now. So as I said, I'm 80 pages in. I don't know. It to me, it's a lot like Valette, except that this is a male protagonist from her, instead of the female one that was in the other one. But there are a lot of similarities so far, and I'm just, it's good. And again, Valette is not my favorite. It's probably one of my least favorites of the Bronte novels, which once I'm finished this, I can actually do like a ranking, which I don't know if you guys want that, but I might do that. Anyway, just because it's Victober. So anyway, this is one now. I mean, yesterday we had a quiet morning with my mom. So I was like sitting there going, well, I'll just read this and try to get at least started. So I got started and as I said, I got to 80 pages and 83 pages. And then I'm like, I don't want to read anymore. So I'm going to try to read at least today. I want to read at least 20 some pages. I figure if I read 20 pages a day, the rest of this week, pretty much, then I will finish it before next Sunday. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'll get back into it today and I'll be fine and I can just finish it off, but I don't know. I'm not, it's not my favorite. And then, so after I finish that, or I have to decide about the Lighthouse Witches if I really want to continue that. I don't know. I'm not drawn to those books, which is bad. So I do want to pick up an audiobook on Monday. I'm going to start Mary Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. So I have the Juliet Stevenson version, and I just want to get through Mary Barton because I love North and South, and I liked Cranford, but I didn't love it as much as North and South is still. I mean, I've read it 2 or 3 times already since I first read it, and I want to read it again. I'm like, no, I have to read some of the other books because I will never get to Wives and Daughters until I finish the rest of the books. So I need to read Mary Barton this year, and I've been meaning to read it for, as I said, I started it a couple of years ago and got about 64 pages in. So I don't remember anything, so I will restart it and I'll start the audiobook. I'm hoping to read this at work, or to and from work and stuff, and try to get through it. I don't expect, I figure it's going to take me, I figure 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to listen to it super like big chunks or anything, but I really want to get into this. I said, I was liking it. I think that year that I picked this up for Victober, I was just overwhelmed. There's too many books going on and I had to start focusing on things. And, that's kind of how it goes. So, all I know is about this is, I don't remember what year this was published. I don't remember, but is it 48? Oh, 1848. So I think it has to do with, Mary Barton and her father. And I think it's their, things going on in their lives in this, town. I think it's in Manchester. And, it has to do with industrial stuff and, the labor, with the people who work there and the owners and stuff. So, I mean, it was her first novel, so I do remember finding it kind of slow, but of course I stopped right when it kind of got exciting, and I still don't know. I think I did that because I thought, oh, well, I'll come back then. Well, I've never come back. So anyway, I'm hoping to get, as I said, I really want to get more Gaskell done, and I definitely want to move on. I want to get this one done. So that's what I'm going to do next. So beyond that, as I said, I have books stacked here that I could read. I don't know what I'm leaning towards. So I could either go, again, another supernatural one, which is probably, since Lighthouse Witches so far isn't clicking the boxes for me, but I could very well do that. I'm kind of leaning, I don't know what I'm leaning towards. I don't know. Let's just say, I don't know. It could be the Hacienda or the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I'm kind of looking at the Witch of Willow Hall or the Reckoning of Gossamer Pond. So it could be one of those. And again, I have like a dozen others that are sitting here. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so that is it. That is my, that's how this week went. So really quick, we'll just finish off this. So, the things so I finished 2, as I said. I finished the, Wilderwood, and I finished Sherlock Holmes, which I'm going to count as part like classic because anyway, but it was pre-1900. And then I'm going to put for the Court of the Vampire Queen, again, I split it up because it was 3 books in one. So I started, I continued, and I finished. So Anyway, so that's pretty cool. That is my last 3 months. You can see I did really good on starting and continuing, but my finish, this is the longest I've had unfinished. I mean, that's eight series I finished. That is super great. Yeah, I really wish yeah, all my numbers are pretty high. Historical fiction. I still am not picking up big books. You know, that's just how that is. So anyway, that's it. What are you guys reading? Are you guys excited for Victober? I'm super excited to get past the professor so I can read some other things. But I need to finish that. I'm really gonna try because I just want to finish. And then as I said, I'm hoping Mary Barton will go well. And we'll see. The Lighthouse Witches, again, I'm gonna give it more of a shot today. If it doesn't work for me, that's fine. I will move on. I have so many books, and since I just unloaded all the books that I had stacked to be sold, if it turns out to be one I don't like, then I will start a new stack for the next time. And I'm not going to let it go as long as I did last time. So anyway, hope you guys are doing well, and I will talk to you later. Bye.